Today we have Zaid Ghattas, Senior Regional Manager, AMD, to talk on various important topics that's happening in the region like cloud computing, sustainability, and data centers. Zaid, thank you for joining us. Zaid, my first question to you is what innovative solutions is AMD currently offering in Middle East market to enhance user experience?
Sure. Thank you first for hosting me. It's a great pleasure to be with you. First of all, if you look at AMD, we power the next generation of compute, right? So we are working across multiple components within the compute experience, right? So we power some of the largest supercomputers in the world and most efficient supercomputers in the world, right? So we've got the server CPU, which is EPYC. We've got the GPUs with Instinct, which is both on consumer as well as the commercial. On the consumer side, it's Radeon. On the commercial side, it's Instinct. We've got the embedded, which is the AECG products that we have, which is Zaid as well. So we've got the full portfolio of products that covers from edge all the way to cloud, and most importantly as well, the Ryzen and the Ryzen AI aspects of it. So the way we are working with a lot of our customers is really we try to cover as much as we can from edge all the way to cloud, right? And so we provide the silicon to power the next gen computing experience.
Zaid, AMD is a well-known brand. You see a lot of exponential growth in cloud computing in the recent years. How do you anticipate this trend impacting the product development, market strategies, and partnerships in the region?
Sure. As I mentioned, we work a lot with a lot of the ecosystem players, the likes of Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and some of the others as well. But on top of that, we also work with the local service providers as well in country, right? Because we provide them with the most efficient, the most power performing CPUs and GPUs into the market. There has been a lot of hype around cloud, which increases OpEx, right? And hence you need a partner to be able to provide the right infrastructure in place to improve the overall OpEx and operational expenses experience. And by going through the 4th gen EPYC CPUs, you would be able to provide a much better experience, much better performance, as well as a much better, lower energy efficiency aspects. And that's where our sustainability aspects kicks into the conversation, right? And if you look at the way we're driving it is really towards how do you condense the infrastructure aspects of the data center, right? The biggest challenge today is really power, right? And if I am able to give you as AMD, be able to give you one CPU that will give you the performance that you're looking for at a much lower power consumption, that's where the conversation gets very, very interesting, right? And that's where we work very, very closely with a lot of the cloud service providers and hyperscalers to make sure that we provide that experience along with our partners, AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft, and on the Azure aspects to go and relook at the OpEx aspects of the conversation. That's where we really are so much engaged on that front.
Zaid, the power consumption aspect is one of the key aspects, I believe, in this recent decade since we passed through COP28 and so on. So before coming to that, let me ask you, how do you address the growth of data centers in the Middle East and sustainability initiative? What sustainability initiatives have you taken in this part to see the concerns of this region?
Sure. I mean, if you look at, this is a great question. If you look at United Arab Emirates in particular, along with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they've got an exponential growth when it comes to the data center, right, and the infrastructure. And sustainability, to your point, UAE has hosted the COP28 last year, and there was a lot of initiatives that was created and generated on the back of COP28. We work across multiple verticals, so we work with public sector customers, education, aviation, transportation, and so on and so forth, right? And the primary driver there is to make sure that we provide them with the silicon that will give them the performance that they're looking for, right? Because if you look at the exponential growth of AI today, it's exponential, right? Each and every enterprise and public sector customer has an AI agenda, right? Whether it's on-prem or on cloud, we're trying to together to find out, the number of use cases, and we've seen some really interesting use cases that are currently being built in the country. We've seen Jace as an example, which is an LLM that's been built. We've seen some of the other customers, i.e. Aramco with MetaBrain, for example, which is basically training 90 years of data towards AI. So with all of that growth, you need a reliable silicon to be able to provide you, and having an AMD, which is the mother of the brain, I would say, with the overall system, you need to make sure that you're getting the right performance on both CPUs and GPUs, as well as the embedded aspects of the conversation, to drive that, and that's basically lowering the overall power consumption and giving you a much better performance versus anything else that is currently being offered in the market.
So AMD is doing a lot with regards to power consumption and the development of designs with those limited power consumption resources. Let me ask you another question. So would you be able to share some insights on AMD's collaboration or partnership with local businesses, education institutions, or government bodies in the Middle East to foster technological advancement and skill development in the region?
Sure. So as I mentioned, we work and engage with most of the large profile, high profile tier one, I would call them, customers in the region and across multiple verticals, right? Whether it's oil and gas, research and academia, education, banking and FSI, and some of the others, right? So we work very, very closely with them because we of course, it's very, very important and essential for us to get the feedback on our products and make sure that we take that feedback into our business to be able to enhance our product development and so on and so forth. One of the examples that I can think of is Emirates NBD, which is Emirates National Bank of Dubai. And I remember we started the journey a couple of years ago. And we were, talking to them and having a conversation and a dialogue towards the adoption of AMD. And today I can tell you they have adopted AMD, and the primary objective of the adoption was to enhance the overall customer experience and the banking experience and the digital aspects or digital banking experience of their services that are currently being offered. And it's very clear they've gotten the right performance that they were looking for, but in parallel, they've looked at the licensing aspects and they've reduced the licensing cost aspects dramatically because they were using, or they are currently using, the 4th Gen EPYC CPUs as well. And that's one of the key examples that I've been thinking about, or that we can talk about. And of course, there's some other examples across multiple verticals and multiple customers across the region. But that's one of the key ones that we're extremely proud about because it truly utilizing the 4th Gen EPYC servers or CPUs, they've managed to spin off and enhance their overall digital customer experience, branches, and so on and so forth.